Our slogan is connect and correct. If we can't connect with you, then how in the world are we going to be able to help you? It's not about us at all. It's all about the person in front of us. Once we do that, we're able to help correct whatever issues that they do have going on with their bodies.
You're with The Capitalist Sage, a twice-a-month podcast that seeks out entrepreneurs and experts that speak to the real-world life of doing business for their sage advice. Now, with your hosts, Karl Barham and Rico Figlioliini.
Welcome to The Capitalist Sage podcast. We're here to bring you advice and tips from seasoned pros and experts to help you improve your business. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisor, and my co-host is Rico Figlioliini with Mighty Rockets Digital Marketing and the publisher of the Peachtree Corners magazine. Hey, Rico.
Hey, Karl. Good to be here.
Well, I know a lot of people are reading the magazine this month. I've seen it all over, doing a great job with bringing stories to the community. Why don't we talk about our sponsors today?
Sure. Our lead sponsor is Hargrave Fiber. They're a fiber optic company that provides services in the Southeast, especially here in Peachtree Corners and Lawrenceville, these markets, but certainly in Macon, Tallahassee, a whole bunch of places throughout the Southeast. They're dealing with small companies as well as larger companies that provide smart office technology to be able to get people teleworking, and corporations to be able to do the things they need to do to be able to work smart and fast in this environment. So they're not like the cable guy. These guys are out there. They're in the community helping out, working with every place that they're in, and they're reachable, and they're always there for you. So check them out, hargravefiber.com/business, and you'll see what they have. They also are doing a promotion that, let me share that with you. It's a $1,000 gift card. So if you end up doing put that in front, if you end up calling them up or checking them out, they'll be able to, you might be able to qualify for that $1,000 gift card as well. So thank you for Hargrave to be our lead sponsor.
Yes, it's more important than ever that folks get their internet right, and Hargrave Fiber is here to help business owners in the community and residents alike. So thank you for them again. Today's guest is a good friend, Calvin Murray, who's here to talk to us about how small business owners are managing through the COVID-19. Calvin is the co-owner of the Egoscue of Atlanta, based in Sandy Springs, Georgia. And he's here to tell us a little bit about his journey to entrepreneurship, how he's dealing with COVID-19, and some of the plans for the future. Hey, Calvin, how you doing?
Karl, Rico, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, no problem. Now, I know for a lot of people, Egoscue is going to be new for people. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, help them with the pronunciation and the spelling of it, and tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Sure thing. So the Egoscue method is a different way of looking at the body. We look at the body as a whole. A lot of practitioners do. But for you in particular, Karl, if you said, hey, Calvin, my right knee's been hurting for 5 years. I haven't been able to find the relief that I need. To me, or to the Egoscue method, we know that right knee is a symptom. There's something else in your body that's dysfunctional that's causing that right knee to hurt. And it's our job to find that dysfunction in your body. You may be a dentist or you may sit for a living, but that's not the reason why that right knee is hurting. Something else in your body is the reason why your right knee is hurting. So we figure out what it is, and we start to treat from that area and help you create balance and alignment in your body. And what do you know? That right knee pain just goes away. Egoscue of Atlanta is the name of our company. We are franchised, and we are originally from out of San Diego. Pete Egoscue, that's where the name comes from. His last name is how it began. He was injured in Vietnam, could not find the relief, and figured that he had to do it on his own. He created the method, and lo and behold, he's doing great today, pain-free, and we help so many other people live a pain-free and active lifestyle as well.
So tell me a little bit about how you and your wife came to this or chose this as an entrepreneurial venture for you, and tell us how it's been so far.
Yeah, funny enough, I moved here in 2004. I'm a Georgia native, and I'm from Augusta, Georgia. Haven't been back since, all right, outside to see our parents, right? But funny enough, I started in the security business great mentor in that business, who is actually president of a large security company now and still in my life as a mentor. And then I transitioned into the securities business where I worked for a major broker dealer and really got a taste of what running your own business looks like. 2011, my wife and I had an opportunity to franchise. And a few years ago, we decided, hey, let's serve in a different manner and let's run this practice as a family practice versus us doing two different things. So we planned for it. And early last year, we made the leap. And we both work together now. One runs therapy, and I run the operations and the marketing as well as therapy.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, as you started the business over the last couple of years, what were some of the things that you learned about yourself and about business in your first few years?
I'll tell you, almost any question that you ask me about learning about myself comes back to it not even being about me. It's about the people that work with you, and it's about our clients. So what am I doing on a daily basis to put them first, my clients, and to put my employees first, and quite frankly, put my wife first as well. Once I started to figure that out, things really changed for the better for our company.
Oh, wow. So this year, 2020, I don't think anyone could have predicted what 2020 would look like. I'm curious, when you first heard about COVID-19 and the pandemic, what were you thinking about it, and how were you thinking about the impact on your business?
Well, when I first heard about COVID-19, it was still football season in 2019, so I was more focused on that. And we wondered, hey, is it real? Is it a media deal? What is it? We just didn't know. It wasn't here yet back in December and November. And by the time the new year came around, it started to get closer to home. Even in February and March, it was closer to home, but it was still a question of, are we going to, is it going to affect us here in the States? That went from about 5 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour in about 3 days. We couldn't believe how fast we were converting from having all our clients come into the clinic to saying, hey, our doors, we have to close our doors. We can't be in here. We can't be around each other. We can't be in groups. We have to pull our children out of school and just continue to fill in the blank. It happened so fast.
Yeah, if you think about it, your business has a location where people would come in and you would, hands-on approach to helping people dealing with their pain and so on. When you closed your doors or knew you had to close your doors, what were some of the ways you were thinking that you could or have been able to pivot your business?
Karl, I have to tell you that we were super confident in pivoting our business. The unique thing about the Egoscue method and our method for helping people get out of pain and stay out of pain is we don't touch you. We don't have to touch you. So for us, changing from clients coming into our clinic to operating over Zoom, operating over Skype, Teams, whatever it may be, we were able to do that quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, here's the deal. We had already started to do that years before. We were doing therapy over Skype 10 years ago. And about 20% to 25% of our business was due to Skype, even before the pandemic. It was all about converting everyone from being in person to Skype or Zoom going forward. That was a bit of a challenge, but we made it happen. Even to the point where some people say, look, we'll never come back into your clinic again. I don't have to sit in traffic. I just want to continue to do it from home.
Did you get a lot of support from the corporate parent of the company?
Oh, my goodness. So being in the Egoscue family is like being in no other family that I can think of franchise-wise. Pete Egoscue, every single Friday, we're on a call with all of us from all the owners. But not only all the owners, all the therapists around the company as well. I mean, the guy's a visionary, and everyone finds so much motivation in him calming the masses throughout the entire country and the world, because we have clinics in Japan. I couldn't be a part of a better family, a better franchise.
Wow. So pandemic hits and leadership matters. It bringing people together and coming up with a plan to help support the whole network was a key bit of how you were successful. I'm curious. You've got young children, I know. How do you manage balancing the new constraints that so many people are facing? You own your own business. Both you and your wife work in the business. You have kids that you're currently, that have they can't go to camps and different outlets. How do you find managing that, and how's that impacted how you work?
I can't say that I'm managing it well or balancing it well. It's every day is a new adventure, but it's so much fun to figure it out every single day. With my wife and I, we've created a pretty good system on teaching our children in the morning with digital learning, and then getting work done in between time, or getting work done at the end of the day. So much communication has to happen within our household. But not only communication with her and I, but communication with our children and communication with our staff, as well as communication with our clients. It all has to be on par, and it all has to be up to date, and we have to be clear, because time is of the essence with everything that we do. If it's not clear, then we have issues.
Yeah. There's an interesting thing that's happened as we're all leveraging technology to do work. And I understand a lot of knowledge workers make sense. If they work, they can have access to their computer. In your type of work, how are you able to service your clients through these different technologies and help them with their pain and posture? What does that look like?
I mentioned earlier that we operate over Zoom, but we also operate under any of the different other ones that they feel comfortable with. A good amount of our clients are 70 and older, and not everyone 70 and older necessarily wants to deal with a computer or deal with Zoom, but we're able to help them navigate through that, or help them just navigate through what they already have. So take, for instance, a new client that calls in. Hey, this is Sue. Sue, I see that you're on an iPhone. Let me take a look at that. I can immediately hit FaceTime and make it easy for her. All she has to do is answer the phone. If she has an Android, I'm able to help her download Skype or help her download Zoom. Whatever it may be, we're able to help them and walk them through the technology in order for them to use it, and in order for them to make it easy, not sit in traffic, and not get out into the public where some people just prefer not to be right now.
Has the technology helped you in other ways, like analytics maybe? I mean, what aspects that surprisingly has helped maybe in what you're doing?
Yeah, we use quite a few different softwares in order to create data points so we can set metrics for ourselves. Quite frankly, our social media is one of them. Social media gives us data points in order to continue to push out content to people that is interesting to them, in order for them to want to be interested in what it is that we do. But internally, there's so many data points. We use MindBody for scheduling and revenue and things of that nature. And we also use Constant Contact. There's so many different data points that come from that allow me to create different metrics for our therapists, for follow-up, and also for projections going forward.
You mentioned a couple of things there. How did you learn to use some of those tools yourself? Did you get help? Constant Contact, Mind and Body, some of the tools that you're using in your business. How did you learn to become to master that?
It's trial and error too. If I say that I'm an expert in that, then I would not be telling the truth, and that wouldn't be clear either. I've leveraged other business owners within our franchise. I've leveraged other therapists within our franchise as well to help me walk through some of the software that we have. But the other thing about software is, once you start to play around with it, you generally are able to figure it out within the next 30 minutes to an hour or so.
Is the Mind and Body, is that part of the franchise setup, or is it like a whole separate software outside the.
It is part of the franchise setup.
Okay.
So we all, from San Diego to New York to Atlanta to Jupiter, Florida, we all use.
So that makes, as far as business works, that makes it great for appointments, for bookkeeping, for tracking hours of not only the members, but also of the therapists that you have, I guess. Right?
That's right.
Does it wrap all that together for you?
Wraps all of it together for us.
Yeah, MindBody is one of the more popular systems that's used in a lot of fitness health businesses, or for a lot of reports and data. Can you describe, how do you use data from something like that and other data points? What type of data you use to help you make business decisions?
Well, before COVID, I would use it to project what next year looked like, what the next month would look like, and even what the next week should look like for better terms. These days, we're trying to figure out what revenue looks like weekly, quite frankly. Now, the good news is since March, things have just progressively gotten better. And it's all because of things that we decided to do once COVID hit. One thing was we felt super confident in our ability to pivot. So our ability to pivot did not take up so much time. With that, I was able to start to build other referral alliances. I said, well, we have good referral alliances. This is a great time to build more. What can I give away to people in order to start building good referral alliances? During this time, we started to coach our girls, coach our therapists a whole lot more, because we were already showing our humanity with them. Because when you're in a small company like us, people want to know that you understand them. They come to work every day and they love the Egoscue method and they love to practice it with our clients that come in. But at the end of the day, they have a family at home. They come in and they work, but they want to get paid, and they want to interact with people who get them, people who feel where they're coming from. And during COVID, they want to interact with people who feel like they're in the same boat. Just because I'm the manager doesn't mean that I can't show my humanity to them. So coaching the girls has become like the catalyst to the growth that we've seen coming up. But I owe that all to my wife. She's a much better coach than me.
You're hitting on a couple of things that I think I saw a lot of the more successful business owners doing. That shift you made with using data to start projecting and forecasting weekly was one of the things that people started doing to understand their cash flows and how much demand was coming in there, and using information and data. But you spent time in the years before to prepare yourself to be able to have that. You weren't creating that all of a sudden. Figuring out how to pivot. It would have been much harder probably for you to be able to go to online if that wasn't being built years ago. The capability to turn that technology on and the systems to support that would have taken some people months possibly to do that, and planning for that there. But one of the things that I'm really interested in with all the people, COVID-19 created a major behavior shift where people aren't going into offices anymore. Mm-hmm. They're working from home that may not have been optimized for working from a desk and so on, which may lead to new stresses on the body that's happening there. What are areas where you think the market may have changed, and how are you reacting to meet as customers' preferences might be changing or the demand might be changing?
Sure thing. In our clinic, we're already seeing a lot of back pain and a lot of neck and shoulder pain and hip pain. Now we're seeing an increase in headaches, an increase in neck pain, and an increase in carpal tunnel and elbow tendonitis. And we attribute a lot of that to people sitting at home. They're working. They're on the video games. They're sitting, and they're sitting. The whole common denominator, I can put any numerator up there, but the common denominator more than likely will be that they're sitting. And anytime you sit a lot, that's going to change the position of your body. Positions create conditions. So if you sit for 5 years straight, and then you start to develop carpal tunnel or a hip pain, then the position that you put your body in for 5 years started to create a dysfunction that made that hip or those hands to start to hurt. Not only that, we're seeing the mental shift, not only in adults, but also in children as well. We are not therapists in our clinic. We're not therapists at all and not qualified for it. But I tell you what, there's a lot of people that come in our clinic and we offer such a safe and quiet and soothing place that they just come in and talk. They just want to talk about things. And we're there to listen. Our slogan is connect and correct. If we can't connect with you, then how in the world are we going to be able to help you? It's not about us at all. It's all about the person in front of us. Once we do that, we're able to help correct whatever issues that they do have going on with their bodies.
Have you been able to leverage any of the government programs through this CARE Act, PPP loans, the IDL loans, Family First Act? How have you interacted with those programs, and has it helped you navigate through this past summer?
Yeah, part of being a leader is that was not my expertise. Going out and figuring out what the SBA looks like, what a loan looks like. However, I did reach out to people who were experts. Quite frankly, Karl, you were one of those people that I reached out to. You just volunteered so much information that was so super helpful for me and our business and our family. So we were able to take advantage of the PPP loan. We were not able to take advantage of the EIDL loan or any of the other ones. But we were kind of late not getting to the party. We were early filling it out, but late receiving the funds. But soon after we received the funds, maybe a month later or so, the policy changed, and so we didn't have to use it in 8 weeks, and that was great because we didn't want to use it in 8 weeks. We wanted to stretch. That was great.
Yeah, that was a great change in that, right? Yeah. Otherwise, 8 weeks versus, what was it, 24 or 39 weeks later? I mean, if you had no customers those first 2 months, it's kind of hard to figure that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not in your business, but certainly in other businesses, it was like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I saw really fabulous happening here in the United States. People were reaching out and helping. No one knew what the answers were. Hell, Congress didn't know what the answers were. But quickly, business owners and neighbors started talking, communicating, helping people figure out what to do. Because I remember that week in March, the president went on air on a Wednesday and said, we're going to start shutting down. And the states started shutting down all of a sudden. And I think it started was, 3 to 4 weeks and we'll be back to normal. And meanwhile, business owners have to make plans. Do I order more inventory? Am I going to be able to open? What I do with my employees? And it was a really, really nerve-wracking time. But I think the support everyone provided to each other really helped in those initial weeks and months. And now, as we go into the future, what are some of your thoughts on how the areas you need to focus on over the next, 6 to 12 months? Now we know this is going to be with us for a while. There might be some vaccines coming in from various places, but we don't know when and how fast. Are there things that you learned during this that you think could help you not just survive through the next 12 months, but maybe even really thrive and excel?
Sure. The first part of your statement, really hits home because, with some friends, I would say, look, raise your hand if you've ever, led a business or your family or a governmental agency through a pandemic, civil and racial unrest inside of an election year. No one in any room is going to raise their hand. So I generally just hold other individuals who are in leadership roles harmless because those guys have never navigated through anything like this, and we're all just learning as we go. That's why it's so important to ask advice. That's why it's so important to reach out to people in positions where you aren't necessarily an expert in it. For us, I've learned that I need other income streams. There is an opportunity for us in B2B. We operate in a B2C format. And just talking with other business owners within the Egoscue method, we've come up with a different way to start a revenue stream outside of just the consumer, but with other businesses as well. And that will be just with other practitioners that who decide to get on board with that.
Oh, that's fabulous. I think that's the way to look at the future, as where are your opportunities, and putting together a plan and making a decision to prepare yourself to be able to capitalize on it. And that's where I see a lot of small business owners are figuring that out. And that's probably the advantage of being small. You don't have to go to a lot of people to get buy-in. You can make those changes quickly and try to implement them within your business and in your organization. So I'm curious, you and I have known each other for a little while, and it would be hard for me not to mention that we are basketball players that play at a local game in Hawaii during the week. And I'm curious, as this goes forward, how are you going to navigate, outside of the work environment, keeping yourself fit? What are some of the other things you're doing to keep your head right? Because if your head isn't right, it'll be hard to be a good business leader. It'll be hard to be a good father, husband, etc.
You struck a chord with me, Karl. I miss playing basketball so much. I haven't played basketball since March, and that was my deal. There was a lot of our deals. We had like 40 guys that we played with off and on, coming in and out of the gym. So I miss playing basketball with all of those guys except for Jesse. But other than that, I totally miss it. But it's funny enough, with my son's school, they have PE inside the curriculum here at home. So we just all do it as a family. He's 6 years old and he's just a jock. I mean, if you ask the kid, the other day he told me, was the Texas A&M beat Arkansas this to this? I was like, no. And I looked it up. I said, you gotta be kidding me. How's this kid know that he's 6 years old? So we play a lot of ball. He rides skateboards. He rides, bikes. And guess who has to do it with him? This guy. So we live in a neighborhood with a basketball court, tennis courts, and swimming pool and things of that nature. So I'm able to stay in a little bit of shape with that. But I can't wait to get back out there on the basketball court.
I know so many people, whatever their passion or sport or activity was, not only was it the physical exercise piece, but the community that's built around here in Greater Atlanta, Peachtree Corners, all over, that people miss. So it'd be great to get back to that. So why don't you tell us what you have going on in the upcoming months? Anything you have planned?
Yeah, we just started a second location where we are down in a neighborhood called Serenbe. It's actually a community on the edge of Atlanta. You head down 85 South, right there in Chattahoochee Hills is where you'll find Serenbe. And it's a nice little unique community. And you can find us there on Wednesdays in the Motto area of Serenbe. So just started that here recently. I was so grateful to be able to find opportunity in the face of crisis. And not only that, we're going to hold an event where we're offering a free posture assessments for people who are going through different chronic pain issues. We're doing that virtually, and we're also doing it in the clinic. And they can find that information on social media. Egoscue, at Egoscue of Atlanta on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Why don't you tell us the other way? If folks want to reach out and learn more about you, what's the best way to reach you?
You can reach us directly at our phone number, 678-528-2393, and at atlanta@egoscue.com. And the way you spell Egoscue is, let's see if I can do it phonetically. Echo, Golf, Oscar,
Sam,
Sierra, Charlie, Uniform, and Echo.
Very good. Oh, that's fabulous. Well, again, thank you, Calvin Murray, the co-owner of the Egoscue of Atlanta, just sharing, being willing to share your experience. It's a scary time for a lot of business owners, and I know you're very busy and you're trying to navigate a lot of stuff, but I think you willing to share that, just know that other people are going through the same thing you're going through, and they're trying to figure it out. and they're going to be successful if they continue to do the things that have been proven to work. Innovate, listen to your customers, adapt, do those types of things, and also take care of yourself. Spend time with your family and do those things to make you the best business leader that you can be. So really appreciate that. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisors. This is another episode of The Capitalist Sage. Rico and I have been ecstatic to continue to share stories of local business owners here in the community that are doing just fabulous things in the community, figuring out how to be successful and sharing those tips and advice with other people. At Transworld, we're continuing to grow and expand, helping business owners navigate the path to exiting their business or growing through acquisitions. Our business brokerage is here to help people that are trying to figure out what's the right path forward for them and their business. And you could reach us online at www.tworld.com/Atlanta Peachtree. Rico, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got coming up?
Sure. Before I even get to that, I just want to, it's always the same thing, it seems. You know, the biggest thing that every entrepreneur and business owner shares with us is that they're listening to the client, right? I mean, Laurie Denton did that on the last show, shared that with us as well. I mean, that's where success is, right? If you listen to the client, you'll be able to do marvelous and miraculous things both for your business and for the client, it seems.
Client and employees, the connection. I noticed that theme too. Connection with their employees, staying through crisis and beyond. They're going to help you be successful in the long run. So
absolutely, and that's where it's at, right? Because otherwise, why are we here? Otherwise, we're just working, right? If you're not building relationships, it's not worth it, right? Mighty Rockets is my company. I also publish Peachtree Corners magazine 6 times a year. The last issue just came out a week ago. It was a diversity issue on the cover story. In fact, Karl was one of our profiles, one of the 7 profiles we did. It was a good issue. I think it's been well received. Next issue is the October-November issue, so we're working on that now. So that's a Pets and Their People. I'm talking a little bit about, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and probably the things we're thankful for. I think that may end up being one of the major features in there, talking to different people and asking them what they're thankful for this time of year. So we're working on that. As far as Mighty Rockets, social media marketing is what we do. Product videos, podcasts, a variety of things, managing social brands for companies. So reach us at mightyrockets.com. And as far as our lead sponsor, again, Hargrave Fiber, I just want to say thank you to those guys for being a sponsor of the family podcast that we do. And you can find out more about them at hargravefiber.com/business. Let's bring back in Calvin. Thank you. You're just terrific. I appreciate you being on the show with us.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. This was awesome. Thank you for the invitation. Truly grateful that you invited me to be on.
Cool. Thank you very much. You're going to help a lot of people, especially after dealing with all those kids home learning. A lot of people that's going to have more than pains in their backs.
That's for sure.
The other place. So I'm sorry, Rico?
I was going to say we're at the end of our time together, so give us the last word there, Calvin.
Guys, keep moving your body. Whenever you stop moving, that's when you become sedentary. That's when things set in. Even if you just get out and walk a half a mile, walk a quarter of a mile, do it once, do it twice, do it 3 times a week. Whatever you do, keep moving so you don't have to come see me.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
This has been The Capitalist Sage with Karl Barham and Rico Figlioliini, the twice-a-month podcast with entrepreneurs and business experts. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Want more? Visit our website at capitalistsagepodcast.com.